You've got to shoot this bit, Margaret. You've got to shoot it.
So, hello listeners and welcome to the Whiteout podcast in association with Ski Weekends, home of short break and flexible ski holidays, Rob. And you can take a bit longer too. Catered chalets in France, plus hotels in over 30 resorts across Europe and Scandinavia. The ski experts for over 30 years. Visit skiweekends.com. Rob, welcome.
Thanks, Dom. Hello, and welcome everyone as well. Yeah, I'm Rob, PR Director of Ski Press, General Ski Gear Geek, and obviously you know my co-host Dom. He's publisher in the Snow magazine.
Yeah, and we together make up your dream team favourite ski podcast, the Whiteout Podcast. Each week we talk about ski news from around the world. Where's best to ski now? We uncover the latest ski gear for the season, and we feature some of the best ski destinations on the planet, from Austria to Zimbabwe and everything in between, Rob.
Right, Zimbabwe. Yeah. No, I know you can ski in South Africa. I have just dropped that in there. But I think it's northern neighbour. I think I kind of see what you're doing there, but you could have said Zambia.
Yeah, or Zanzibar. Technically not a country, but maybe you can ski there.
Probably not, but right now I'd quite like to go to Zanzibar, skiing or not. What I am just about to do is go skiing in Austria at the start of that alphabetical list.
Nice.
I'm heading to Innsbruck next week, so yeah, I'm pretty happy with that, actually. I'll take that over Zanzibar right now.
Very good. Sounds great chance for me to plug the In the Snow guide for skiing in Austria. Have you checked that out, Rob? Because, you can't know much about Austria. You need to go to inthesnow.com/Austrian ski resorts. You can make sure you know everything about Austria before you get there, Rob. It's very important that you visit this page.
I shall check inthesnow.com/Austrian ski resorts out, because it would make nice weekend reading for me. And I haven't been to every ski resort in Austria, and in fact I think I'm going to go to Stubai Glacier next week, which I have never been to before, so I'll definitely do that. Yeah.
Nice. Sounds good. So also in this episode we'll also be welcoming former British team alpine skier and ski cross racer turned Discovery Channel presenter Ed Drake to our race corner to give us an insight into the alpine ski racing scene to date.
Oh yeah, excellent. Yeah, I really enjoyed last weekend's race in Levy, so let's see what Ed has to say about that. And of course this weekend's race are coming up in Gurgl, the slalom as well, in Gurgl, so very exciting.
And like in each episode now, we'll also introduce a special guest to answer questions that we've had sent in by listeners that include things like how to become a ski instructor, how to launch a new ski clothing brand, or how to become a ski photographer, which will be coming up this season. And we've sought out legends, experts, and generally epic individuals to get on and share their wisdom.
Yes, and this week's guest is...
Wow, drum roll, Rob. Give me one of your drum rolls. Not literally, we are delighted to welcome one of our Britain's biggest ever snowboard and now broadcasting talents, Aimee Fuller, and that's later on in the show, Rob.
Yeah, fantastic. I can say we recorded this interview a few days ago with Aimee, and she's just brilliant. I think she's possibly the easiest person in the world to interview, Dom.
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of fun. Listeners, do stick around for later on in the show because she is a lot of fun.
So, what have we got coming up in the news, Dom?
Well, before we kick off, Rob, I've got to mention the Black Friday. It's begun, hasn't it? Amazon told me it's begun, so Black Friday must have begun. And we've got a special page on the In the Snow website with the best Black Friday deals that we've found. Particular mention to Balkan Ski Holidays, balkanholidays.com. They've got some superb deals, which I couldn't believe yesterday when I was going through the sum up to £600 off. Mega deals on already very well-priced holidays. So two in particular I picked up. One was Apartments Winslow, Highland. Unreal at £379 per person. And on top of that, they take a further £100 off per booking. So it's actually $329 per person, which is a total bargain. 70 metres from the gondola in Bansko. So, really good deal. Also, we've got Ski Weekends, our headline sponsor. They have their Black Friday deals on with £50 per person off everything. Over 100 hotels, 10 catered chalets with prices from £159 for 3 nights, which is cracking, isn't it?
It is. Wow. Okay.
And Saas Fee also, they've got their Snow Magic Pass Black Friday deal as well, from 4 nights in accommodation of your choice, flex ski pass for the destination in Saas Fee, 6 days during the whole winter season. So there's a special deal on their Saas Fee Magic Ski Pass as well. So yeah, worth looking out for. Love it.
So on to some of the news, our news section for this week. I'll kick this off with the Val Thorens being named the world's best ski resort.
Oh, nice.
I'm actually going to be there just over a week's time as well, just getting around a bit, just dropping that in. And then the W Hotel in Verbier wins the best ski hotel as well. I mean, I have visited the W, had a couple of coffees there in the past. I've never stayed there, but it's a very smart 5-star hotel right at the bottom of the ski lift in Verbier. So yeah. And Sunweb has been named the best ski tour operator.
Good work.
So anyway, these awards, established in 2018, aim to promote excellence in the ski tourism industry by recognising top performers across a range of categories, including resorts, hotels, chalets and tour operators.
Good work. Good work to those winners. Next up, Mammut recalls the Barryvox 2 and S2 Avalanche beacons due to a potential issue with the power switch, which may cause the devices to switch unintentionally from send to search mode. This malfunction stems from an assembly issue, and Mammut has a solution in place. So definitely visit the Mammut website if you have one of those and you need to send it back.
This is not really a ski story, but it's a very exciting one. All the same, the Tour de France is heading back to the Alps, of course, as it always does, but with La Plangue hosting its first stage in 23 years.
Wow.
The resort will host 5 days of events over that time, including the Étape du Tour on the 20th of July, followed by the Tour's final mountain stage on 25th of July. And the riders will tackle 130 kilometres with 4,500 metres of elevation, finishing at Plangue Village, which is just over 2,000 metres above sea level. And it's worth a trip for this, Dom. What do you think? I mean, I caught a stage of the Tour this summer in the south of France, but I have never been to a mountain stage of the Tour de France.
I think.
Quick mention for the ladies' ski trip with Ski Weekends, Dom, that they're launching this season. So Ski Weekends has launched a ladies' ski trip for the season. It's staying in Courchevel over 4 nights on a long weekend from Thursday, March the 13th in a catered chalet, really nice chalet. It's a great idea, but we actually caught up with Sarah Fox, the sales director of Ski Weekends, and she told us a bit more about it.
We created the Ladies Ski Weekend specifically for women who are looking for new ski buddies to ski and après with. We received a lot of feedback from ladies who used to ski and now don't, typically through having lost their confidence or having lost their regular ski partner. But they would really love to ski again and would, given the opportunity to join a women-only ski trip. Going for a ladies' ski weekend instead of a week was really appealing, especially when the accommodation is in a social catered chalet with a jacuzzi, in a ski area with plenty of cruisy blue runs and après bars. All perfect ingredients for a fun ski holiday.
That sounds like a great trip, doesn't it? I mean, I'm not a lady, so I can't join, but I'm sure there are plenty of ladies that are going to want to join a trip like that. Sounds great.
Yeah, it does. And, you know, it's 4 nights in the Chalet Moreira in Courchevel 1650. Really, really good location, actually, in 1650. £899 per person, but that's 4 nights half-board, catered chalet board in the chalet, return Geneva airport transfers, and then 1 day with a ski instructor and guide as well.
Very good. Okay. And we've got a new lift in Argentiere. Back in 2018, a fire tore through the Grand Montet station in the Chamonix Valley, leaving the lift, critical route for both skiers and climbers, completely out of action. And since then, the plan was to bring it back with a straightforward replacement. But straightforward didn't really work. They're going bigger, bolder, reimagining not just the Grand Montet lift, but the whole experience for skiers, basically. Instead of simply restoring what was there, the vision now includes a 3-cable gondola that's run from base to summit. So the whole project is getting a high-profile facelift courtesy of the architect Renzo Piano, known for iconic structures like London's Shard and Paris Pompidou Centre. So the budget, not worried about that, 155 million euros, of course. And as of now, they're aiming for completion by the start of 26-27. So it's looking like good stuff.
Yeah, it's great news, Dom. I mean, until then, you know, it's still a bit of a hike if you want to get to the top. But remember, there's still so much terrain on offer there. You know, without that lift, I mean, there's still tons of terrain on the Grand Montet. But, you know, skiers do ski tour up to the top. They have been doing that since the ski lift has been out of action. And I guess they're rewarded for their efforts because there's less skiers. But I think it's welcome. It's welcome news, of course. It's welcome news. It really is.
Well, that's it for our main news this week. And finally, Rob, this is we spot something in the news or feel that it's a topic worth further discussion. This week, Rob, we decided that we saw ski resorts with a terrain over 2,000 metres, something we had on our website as well.
Yeah, sure. I was asked last week by In the Snow's editor, Patrick Thorne, about a couple of destinations that I know really well, and he was asking me how much percentage of terrain they have over 2,000 metres. Now, I didn't know the answer off the top of my head, But then I also asked Patrick if many resorts actually had that sort of info to hand, and apparently they do.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do because it's pretty important, isn't it? I guess a lot of people are asking that.
Yeah, I know. But firstly, by the nature of mountains, I guess the higher you go, the less actual terrain there is, right?
Yeah, mainly because there's a big point at the top.
Yeah, basically.
Suppose that makes sense, but clearly altitude is an important factor when it comes to skiing.
Well, right, exactly. Although I really like what Patrick is doing here, which is to basically compile a data set and write about the resorts that have lots of terrain over 2,000 metres. And he also points out, quite rightly, that location and latitude also make a lot of difference too.
Yeah, so for example, there's plenty of ski resorts in Austria that don't even hit 2,000 metres at the top, but yet they get plenty of snow.
Right. And then, of course, look even further east to, say, Slovakia, for example, and then north to Scandinavia, where altitude doesn't really matter at all. But anyway, it's an interesting exercise, and a lot of the resorts Patrick is looking at are either based in the Western Alps, where altitude is a bit more important, and the larger resorts in Switzerland and Austria as well.
Right. So what's he found then? Because I saw this week he opened up his own ski resort in Kiltarty.
Yes.
I'm sure you saw that news item on our Facebook page.
I did see Patrick.
Earliest he's ever skied in, did he say 13 years or was it long?
Okay. And he had significant amounts of snow in his personal... Patrick has got his own ski resort. And, well, it's not a resort. It's his backyard, isn't it? But he's got quite a big backyard and he lives just outside of Inverness, so yeah. But no, what Patrick found was, starting with Zermatt in Switzerland and Italy, right? These two have 360 kilometres of terrain, reaching up to nearly 3,900 metres, and get this, 90% of it sits above 2,000 metres, right?
That's impressive. What comes after that?
Yeah, interestingly, there was Via Lattea, or the Milky Way, straddling Italy and France. They've actually got 400 kilometres to play with, and it's 75% of that is over 2,000 metres, so pretty good actually.
And then there's Les Arcs and Les Plans in France. They must be faring pretty well.
Yeah, that's true. Combined, they've got 425 kilometres and a peak of 3,250 metres, with around 70% above 2,000 metres.
Wow.
So yeah, so if you're starting the season late or early, they've got altitude on their side for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Places. I mean, that's massive. That's nice. What about the Swiss classic Sunweb, known for its glitz? Crikey, I'm a poet and I didn't know it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, St. Moritz might be known for glitz, but it doesn't mess around when it comes to skiing. It's a pretty serious ski area actually around St. Moritz, and 270 kilometres, and 90% of that terrain is above 2,000 metres. Wow. Yeah, that's nice. So that's and
then Ischgl, linking up with the Samnal across the Swiss border. That's a super high place, surely.
Yeah. So Ischgl's got 239 kilometres of terrain, and 215 of that is above 2,000 metres. And it's sort of, it is known to be a very snowshore area as well. So
that's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive, Ischgl. Well done.
Yeah.
And back over in France, maybe a surprise to some, but I can see that Serre Chevalier is a good one to add. 250 kilometres with 80% over 2,000 metres, so that's solid too.
Yes. Yeah, so there's quite a lot. It looks like altitude is still one of the biggest advantages for these European resorts. We need to mention Val Thorens, of course. We've mentioned it. And the rest of the three valleys. Some reports say that Val Thorens has 99% of its terrain above 2,000 metres, which does make sense. Yep. But then other reports say 90. So but anyway,
it's a lot.
Yeah,
it's interesting, but I think it's still fair to say that height isn't always everything.
Yeah, definitely. Well, location is really important as well.
That's very interesting, that, Rob. And make sure to check that story out, which is going to be in the next edition of In the Snow magazine and also on inthesnow.com.
So what's up next, Dom?
Well, now it's time to introduce our ski racing expert, Ed Drake. Hi, Ed. Tell us about what's going on in the World Cup racing scene.
Hello, people of the Whiteout podcast. Thank you very much for having me. We are already 2 events in for the men, 2 events in for the women, and it is going to be a bumper season. We have a full season plus World Championships. World Champs aren't until the 4th to the 16th of February. So this year, it's all the athletes are really gearing up to try and perform at the major championships in February, but with a absolute cracker of a World Cup season underway already. If you've missed the racing, man, have you missed out. The opener was back in October, 26th of October. The women raced first in Solden, then the men followed Saturday, Sunday, women, then the men. And it was Federica Brignoni of Italy, former overall champion Alice Robinson, who has had a real resurgence to form, thankfully, over the latter half of last season and this season to pick herself up a silver and bronze was Julia Scheib. First time Austria had a podium in Solden for the women in over a decade. Schifrin led the first run but couldn't convert. The conditions weren't as hard as they were normally over in Solden. Schifrin didn't quite get the blend on that second run. But the American team had an absolute cracker. Katie Hensian, after 18 months out from injury, went from bib 47th into 4th position with an absolute belter of a day. Her teammates also on the way back from injury, Nina O'Brien from 28 into 7th, shows that the American team are firing on all cylinders on the women's side. Over on the men's side, we're talking about comebacks, really. I think in the start of this season, we heard that Marcel Hirscher was going to come back after 5 long absent years, donned a new race suit and started racing for the Netherlands. He started outside of the top 30 and he was on the edge. He's desperate to produce the goods. He's obviously not really stopped training with the evolution of the Red Bull Van Deer skis. He's been doing load of time trials and keeping Henrik Kristoffersen, sort of the team leader on the World Cup Tour in terms of guys on that brand, really kept him on his toes. He had nothing to gain, everything to lose by coming back. So you have to think that he has been quick enough in training, and we expect to see him on the podium at some point. Also, the comeback was of Lucas Pinheiro Broughton now, the former Norwegian, now racing for the Brazilian team. He had a bit of a better day, did the former Slalom Globe winner, from bib 41 into 4th position. Former teammates of his shared the top 3. Norwegian clean sweep, Atle McGrath in 3rd. Henrik Kristoffersen starting off the season in great form in 2nd. And Alexander Steen Olsen, another young Norwegian, took the win. Next round, over in Finland, up high in Lapland country. Levi was the place, and the men and women both racing up there again. Michaela Schifrin on top, and a dominating performance from the legendary racer. She secured her 98th World Cup win, and she did so by nearly 8/10 of a second. Liensberger of Austria was in 2nd. Lena Dürr of Germany in 3rd position. Victoria Palla of the GB team. She raced, unfortunately failed to finish in Levy, having come unstuck about halfway down. Real shame, but in her sort of infancy to the World Cup Tour, she spent a lot of time in North America, not too much time on the Europa Cup or the World Cup Tour, so a bit of a baptism of fire to the World Cup Tour for the Brit, but we wish her well. The snow conditions weren't great for the women. On the men's side of things over in Levy, it was, of course, the return of Dave, Billy and Laurie. The men hadn't raced here since 2019, so it's been 5 long years away from the World Cup Tour. Welcome return to Levy for the men's races. It's not the most traditionally seen as the most difficult of hills, but it has got a lot of terrain, steep in sections, nice and solid for the men underfoot, an extra couple of degrees colder, which meant was really compact. Clement Noel took the victory. Kristoffersen again with 2nd, Loic Meyer in 3rd, and then Pinheiro Broughton in 4th position. From a British perspective, Dave Riding was 5th after the first run. Of course, was set by the British new head coach, Jai Geyer and Alan Baxter. They're sort of co-heads, if you like, but it was the British team that set the first run, suited Dave down to the ground. He was in 5th. Billy and Laurie both failed to make the second run, unfortunately. Billy, not quite enough risk. Maybe Laurie, too much risk. The balance is ever difficult and very hard to find. Dave not quite able to keep with that pace on the second run, saw him drop down to 16th position. But in terms of Dave's progression, he picked up a new ski sponsor at the end of last season, having parted ways with Fisher. He's now on the head skis was actually, I think, a bit of a welcome return. One other big performance of note, a guy called Edward Holberg, who is a Finn, racing on home snow, went into 8th from bib 40 on the first run, and then easy to say that the occasion got the better of him and dropped down into 24th position, but the guy was absolutely on fire. So cool to see him producing the goods, or most of the goods, half the goods on his home snow. The racing continues this coming weekend, depending on how early you pick up the pod. This weekend, as we record, is the 23rd and 24th. The men and women are racing in Gurgl, Austria. Dave Riding's home from home. It is slalom action for the men. And then the calendar really does go at full pace, full gas. We are basically racing every single weekend and midweek between the start of December and the end of March. Now, I've talked to you plenty long enough already. So much to go with on the World Cup. If you want to dive deeper into the World Cup scene, come and join us over on the Ski Racing Podcast. Add that to your podcast list. Otherwise, I will catch you on here a little down the line with some more updates. From me, Ed Drake, I'm going to hand you back over to Dom and Rob. And thanks for having me, and I'll see you next time.
Oh, well, that was really good. It's nice to hear from Ed, and I'll try and catch some of the ski racing over this weekend. Let's hope Dave and the boys can pull something out of the bag.
Exactly, yeah. It's an exciting weekend ahead. So, Rob, what do we got next?
Well, we have got Where is Best to Ski Now?
Very good. So where is best to ski right now? As we head into late November, we should be expecting to see more snow coming and more ski areas starting to turn white and open up. What's the situation looking like, Rob?
It's looking great, Dom. I mean, really great, certainly in places. I mean, I've been slipping and sliding through the snow-filled streets of my home city this week in the UK. So when that happens in November, things are looking up. Right.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've been seeing lots of snowy pictures on social media from the Alps too, the likes of Tignes, Voriaz, and it's been dumping in the French Alps too.
Yeah.
So looking good.
Yeah, it is. I mean, Val Thorens is opening this weekend. They've had around 40 centimetres of snow over the past few days, I believe, making it, one of the best opening weekends for quite a while. Before I'll be there next week, so I'll try and give an update then. But yeah, I'm hoping I could even get a few early season powder turns in, Dom.
Oh, that'd be nice. Things are due to warm up a bit, but nothing crazy. And actually, as we know, a bit of warming after the first snowfall can be a good thing because you get that freeze thaw situation. It bonds the base together and creates a nice solid base.
Yeah, very true. Verbier in Switzerland opened Lac de Vaux area last weekend as well. Saw some of that on social media. Saw people skiing there. So early opening is, I hope, a sign of what's to come, Dom. As weather experts have predicted heavy snow for much of that sort of Western Alps region.
Yeah, it's looking good.
Another storm coming in on Thursday. That heavier snow is going to be in the northwestern Alps, and the rain snow line will fluctuate a bit. It will go above 1,500 metres before dropping again. But resorts like Val d'Isère, Three Valleys, Tignes, and La Plagne, they're going to be buried under significant amounts of snow. We think it's that way.
Seen a lot of messages coming out of those resorts saying you need to get out here. It's looking like it's going to be fantastic. So by the end of the week, Northwestern Alps are expected to see around 60 centimetres up to 130 centimetres of fresh powder above 1,800 metres. Like we say with hotspots like Tignes, La Rosière, possibly receiving even more. Other regions, such as the northeastern Alps, including Kitzbühel and Saalbach, will likely see smaller amounts, around 15 to 30 centimetres. The southwestern Alps, like the Milky Way area, could see over 60 centimetres, particularly on Thursday, which was yesterday, just the day after recording, when the snowfall peaked. So, yeah, it's looking good.
And, there's some other resorts opening up. Obviously in Austria, the glaciers are open. Hintertux, Stubai. I've got really good conditions at the moment, and Kitzbühel and Obergurgl, of course, Obergurgl hosting the alpine ski races this weekend, so we'll all see that. If we can see that on TV, that would be great. In Italy, you've got Passo Stelvio, Valsenales, and in Switzerland, of course, you've got Zermatt, Saas Fee, and also Engelberg opening up, I believe, as well.
Nice.
Yeah, lots going on in North America too, right?
Yeah, so I had a big dump this week of about a metre of snow, so that's great news for them because they had a tricky season last season, so that's a great start for them. Season officially kicks off there on November 21st. That was yesterday.
Yeah, I've been looking at webcams in North American ski resorts, and they are starting to turn quite nicely white, actually.
Yeah. So that's it. That's our roundup for where is best to ski right now.
Excellent. Right, on to our gear section, Dom.
Best section of the week, I reckon, where we get this the best gear out. We love this bit, don't we? What's first up? I've got the Scott React light sensitive goggle. Okay. It's got photochromatic lens technology that adjusts to changing light conditions, which gives you optimal vision in any weather. They're really nice goggles. Love these. Designed for comfort and performance. Includes a non-slip silicone strap, so it's not slipping up and down your helmet. 3-layer face foam. Great ventilation to stop the fogging up. It's got the fully integrated magnetic lens change system, which is really smart as well, and the automatic lens lock system. So, yeah, very nice. It's got the amplifier lens technology, so you get it's really supervision. Really like these. AMP light sensitive lens. The no sweat 3-layer molded face foam. Okay. 100% UV protection, spare lens included. You can get them at scott-sports.com, 250 quid. Yeah. Really nice goggle, that, Rob.
They are nice. I've actually got a pair of those goggles, and they are really, really nice. And especially in bright light conditions as well. They're very good for that. Yeah, I've seen this. It's called a Pro Ski Simulator. And I'm going to talk about the basic premium edition ski simulator. It's a really excellent tool to help strengthen muscles and boost cardio as well for the ski season. There's an easy setup. You know, you've got various foot positions. It simulates balance, coordination, and agility as well. It's good for all levels of skier, and it helps prevent injuries, but it also provides like a proper full body workout as well. So it's really good for cardio, really good for technique training, really good for strength training, and it's really good for HIIT, which is, stands for high intensity interval training.
Nice.
Yeah, you can pick this up at skiexchange.co.uk. It is over £1,000. It's £1,099, but it's a proper bit of gym kit. This,
ski resort in your home.
Yeah, basically. I mean, if you've got a nice gym set up, Dom, that's the kind of thing I could see being quite fitting in.
Absolutely.
Very nice.
Along with your Lecky Hot Shot pole at £130, fun and functionality. So it doubles up as a hip flask. So you simply unscrew the grip for a quick sip on the slopes with a high-strength aluminium and trigger S system for safety. Poles they're all about performance, but mixing a bit of fun in there. 130 quid from skiexchange.co.uk. We need to get one of those.
Sounds like my kind of pole.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, Ski Mojo uses spring recoil technology to alleviate leg strain and reduce fatigue. And it's quite a discreet design as well. It can fit comfortably under most ski trousers. And I know that there's thousands of skiers out there that won't be able to ski without a Ski Mojo. And it's not new. It's been around for years, but the Ski Mojo, the company behind it, they're always tweaking the design. They're always improving things. They love to kind of just make those little improvements all the time. You can go onto the ski-mojo.co.uk website to find out more information. There are retailers around the country that also fit Ski Mojo as well. So I know Solutions for Feet, for example. I'll just drop them in because they're based in Bicester, and Colin there is he's fitted hundreds and hundreds of Ski Mojos for people over the years. And you don't need to get it fitted. You don't need to get it fitted in the ski shop, but I think it does help for the first time just to get that kind of like fit done, and then it clips onto your ski boots and all that kind of thing. It's very simple.
Nice bit of kit. So next thing up, Sport Tube hard case for skis and snowboards. Really nice, these hard cases, because it stops your skis getting a proper battering when they go on the flights. 199 quid. It's the Sport Tube Series 2. It's a double case. It's great for travelling with 2 sets of skis while keeping them super safe. It's hard plastic shell, so completely protects anything, whether you're going on a plane, train or car travel. Accepted by all major airlines. Yeah, perfect. Skiexchange.co.uk as well, 199 quid.
Nice.
And finally on our list of gear this week, we've had a lot of gear this week. It's really cool.
It's piling up.
Rob, I mean, this is a bit of, it's definitely not a bit of you, it's definitely a bit of your wife. So it's the Duviard Estelle faux fur trim in Dragonfly. It's the Estelle jacket. It's very slick. It's just a really slim-fitted, belted Parker jacket, and it's got the real sort of big fur collar. Definitely.
A bit of Majev, definitely a bit of Majev.
Definitely a bit of Majev. Yeah, chic, technical, uses Primaloft lining, 4-way stretch outer fabric, comfort and look all together in one package, as is typical from Duviard ranges, and you can get that from ellis-brigham.com at £439.
Yeah, great. Right, Dom. Today's destination spotlight. We are going to venture into Italy's spectacular Aosta Valley. There's lots of things going on this season as well. Lots of experiences and a lot of reasons, I would say, to hit the slopes of the Aosta Valley this season. We know it
Yeah,
well,
for
don't
sure.
we?
I mean, we both love this area. I'm a big fan. Whether you're a sort of big into your food or your free ride or family-friendly skiers, there's something for everybody in this area. So Aosta Valley, it's made up of 5 key resorts. Let's have a look, see what's going on in the mountains for these resorts if we take them one by one, because they are great places. Courmayeur, first stop, right at the foot of Mont Blanc there. It's got the Monte Bianco lift, which we've both been on. I think you've done summer and you've done summer and I've done winter, or maybe the other way around.
Yes.
Absolutely fantastic lift there. That resort, great reputation of great skiing and top end food. I've had one of my favourite meals in Courmayeur on the mountains. I have to say, the place is great. I love it.
I've got to say, we had one of our favourite family ski meals in Courmayeur as well. Yeah, it was just really, really good. And I kind of, it's the sort of place where you walk in and you just go, I just want to experience this restaurant, the best of what they've got. And we just said, you just feed us and tell us what. I mean, it wasn't super cheap, but because we just went, yeah, we're going to go for it in this place. They just sort of came up with the dishes, and it was a very memorable meal, that one.
Yeah.
Talking about food, the Mountain Gourmet Ski Experience from Momentum, they're celebrating their 10th anniversary of that event this season. It runs from the 27th of March to the 30th of March 2025. Know the guys from Momentum very, very well. I've not attended their gourmet event, but they get some proper chefs along. I mean, like the likes of Heston Blumenthal, Marcus Waring, those kind of guys that get involved in these events. And I mean, even Michelin-starred executive chef Alan Ducasse, from the Dorchester, of course, and other places, 3-star Michelin. So yeah, if you're into your food and you want to combine that with some great skiing, because everyone is into their skiing on these trips as well, then I'd definitely recommend checking that out.
Very good. Yeah, really nice. And the food celebrations, the culinary celebrations don't stop there. They've got Courmayeur's Peak of Taste Festival is also making a comeback in March. That event is for absolute foodies, just like you, Rob, offering interactive sessions with Michelin-starred chefs, bartenders, and mixologists. I like it.
Wow. Cool. Yeah, I mean, some of those past editions have included everything from aperitifs on the Skyway Monte Bianco cable car, right at the top at 3,500 meters almost. To cooking workshops with chefs like Paolo Griffa. It kind of encapsulates that tradition and innovation around Courmayeur's dining scene. They really take it very, very seriously there.
Yeah, this place, Courmayeur, is more than a ski resort. This is a lifestyle destination, really, where every meal becomes an experience.
All right, let's head over to Bruel Cervinia. Of course, I mean, most people just say Cervinia, but it's an incredible ski resort. It is renowned for huge interconnected slopes stretching over into Zermatt in Switzerland, of course. And I sort of love those long, wide, cruisy piece that Cervinia has on the south-facing side. Actually, again, there's some memorable meals that have been had on the mountain in Cervinia as well, and yeah, it's a good place to eat, that's for sure. And your money goes a bit further. Let's just put it that way. They are opening a 6-seater chairlift on the Gollet area this season. Has been long awaited, and I think that will really sort of make a big difference to that kind of.
Yes. Absolutely. It's a state-of-the-art lift replacing an older system. Bit of a game changer for skiers. So it's got heated seats, obviously, individual footrests, as you'd expect, and it's got the canopies, the pull-over transparent canopies. So super comfort, and for those, especially for those real sort of cold, windy days, so really, really nice.
It's comfortable, but it's also it features this eco drive technology, which basically automatically adjusts its speed based on the number of skiers waiting in line.
Wow.
Yeah, so they reckon this sort of efficiency reduces energy consumption by up to 20% during quieter periods. So it's quite a nice innovation. Neat. It's just automatically doing that.
Crazy. It's super fast as well, actually. That new lift covers nearly 1,500 meters in just 5 minutes, down from the previous 11 minutes. Wow. So yeah, got an increased capacity of 2,400 passengers an hour.
Wow.
So just means you get more time on the slopes and less time waiting in a line,
Yeah. And I mean, there's obviously ski resorts like Cervinia have got a big commitment to sustainability, and they've got other operations going on like the direct drive system, and that reduces noise and also lubricant use, which I say, look, if in the world we can use less lubricant, everyone's got to be happy.
I've been telling you that for a long time, Rob.
And who likes noise? I mean, at the end of the day, a quiet lift, just
is what we all want.
We all want a quiet lift.
So on the value front, talking about value, Chavinha has expanded its youth discounts. Skiers under 16 now get a 30% reduction on passes, while those aged 16 to 24 receive a 20% discount, an upgrade from the last season, 12% for the under 18. So that's nice.
Yeah, so I mean, Chavinha is a great choice actually for families and younger skiers.
Yeah, nice. And I think I'm right in saying that those ski pass discounts are actually rolling those all the way across the whole of the Aosta Valley.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Sorry. Yeah. They're going across the whole region.
Yeah, which is good. So moving on to Pila, which is close to my heart as well, perched just above the Aosta city. I always choose to stay down in the city. I don't know why, but I just enjoy being down in the hustle bustle of the city and getting the lift up in the morning. Some changes underway there as well with the ambitious Kui 1 gondola project.
Yeah, it's a new 10-seater gondola replacing the 1980s chairlift, right? And it forms the second segment of the Pila Kuis route. It's designed to bring skiers up to 2,700 metres in just 15 minutes, which is a real significant improvement, actually. It's going to make a big difference in Pila, I think. And, we've both skied in Pila as well, Dom. We've been there, and I love the place. It's really, really nice. But that lift is going to bring it right up. It's going to bring it right up.
Yeah, and the journey doesn't end there. The top station, called the Stella del Cuis Panoramic Refuge, it's due to open in December 25, and it offers fabulous views of the alpine peaks like Mont Blanc and the Matterhorn. I mean, it's fantastic, the views that you get there and the skiing there, and it's great long season in Pila as well. Highly recommend the place.
I mean, that's an interesting project. It's apparently designed by the architectural firm De Carlo Aguela. I think that's how I'm just guessing the pronunciation on that. But that blends this cutting edge engineering style as well. A lot of sustainability stuff going there, of course. But, it's a very futuristic design. We're now going to see it actually coming to life, which is fantastic.
Yeah. So currently, reaching that Kuis 1 from Pila requires 3 lifts in about 60 minutes, and the new infrastructure will cut this to just 30 minutes, starting from downtown Aosta. So big time saver.
Yeah, and you say you like staying in Aosta, so I mean that would make a massive difference, wouldn't it? If you stay down in Aosta and you can get up to the top in 30 minutes instead of an hour.
Yeah,
that's a big
absolutely.
Difference.
And a quick name check there. If anybody wants to get out to Pila, I went with Interski last year, and they looked after us very well indeed. Had the lockers at the top of the hill, so you don't have to carry all your gear and all that. So, Interski, well worth looking up.
Okay. Pila is also introducing a new ski veg, or connecting slope, from Kuis 1 to Kuis 2. And they're also upgrading key slopes like the red number 7, Plan de Livy. Said that in a French accent, didn't I? But you remind people that this is actually Italy. It does enhance, the functionality of that whole area, and also the snowmaking capabilities there as well. Nice,
yeah. And of course, the families, as we said earlier, that they're also expanding their discount ski passes now, include the 30% off for under 16s, 20% for 16 to 24-year-olds, and free passes for children under 8 if they're accompanied by an adult. So you can't all just turn up with ski boots on your knees.
That's right. I mean, so there's a lot going on in Pila, isn't it? I mean, they're obviously investing quite heavily in infrastructure and accessibility. So they're really, modernising Pila and just keeping it right bang up to date with, sort of big major ski resorts across the Alps.
Yep. Next, we're off to I haven't been to La Rille, so it's a resort that combines serene beauty with high-octane action. That sounds like good stuff. This March, La Tuile will once again host the Women's Ski World Cup, of course.
Okay, yeah. Competitions. They're scheduled for March 14 and 15. They'll feature downhill and Super G races on the Franco-Berthold slope. It's known for quite technical difficulty, this course. Got steep sections, it's got variable terrain, so it's a real test. It is a real test, this one, for the women in the middle of March.
And it's not just the races. The World Cup brings a great mix of atmosphere to La Tuile with live entertainment, local food stalls, and activities for everybody, really. Everybody wants to go and watch. So plenty going on there. You can imagine the atmosphere at that point must be fantastic.
It's always nice. I think it's nice to visit a resort when there's an event like that going on. Catch the world-class skiing and, enjoy the resort at the same time. I mean,
exactly.
What could you ask for?
And so finally, let's talk about Monte Rosa Ski. So that's a real sort of free riders and off-piste adventures paradise, spans over 3 valleys and sort of big terrain for all abilities, really. But a big, nice area.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we had a family ski holiday based in Chamonix a few years back now, and we loved it. And it's quite a wild place in a way. Really lovely skiing. And when I say wild, I mean just the scenery. You know, you really feel you're out in nature there. I mean, this season, Monte Rosa, it's sort of got this. It's got what they call a Happy Ski Monte Rosa promotion, right? So basically what that means is guests who are booking at participating hotels will receive 35% discount on their ski passes. So yeah, it's a really good deal if you're staying. You know, if you're staying for a week, for example, you get 35% off just because
really
you're
good.
booking in a particular hotel. It's a pretty good deal.
Yep. So with this promo, you can explore Monte Rosa's big backcountry, extensive free ride zones, and the charming behind villages without breaking the bank as well, which is what we always rave about for this area.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's just that whole area. You know, you have got all that expert level terrain for free riders, but you've also got lots of beginner friendly runs as well, and lots of intermediate. It's a cool area. I really like it. So yeah.
It's many years since I was introduced to the Aosta Valley. So quick recap, you got Courmayeur celebrating 10 years of gourmet excellence with all their lovely foodie events. Chavinia redefining efficiency and comfort with this new 6-seater chairlift. Pila revolutionising its access to the slopes with the high-tech gondola and obviously their discounts that they're rolling across the whole of the region. And La Tuile gearing up for the adrenaline-filled World Cup weekend. Rob, what about it?
Yeah, and also, you know, Monte Rosa, as we've said, has got these brilliant savings and all of that free ride terrain to enjoy as well across 3 valleys, as they say, across the Monte Rosa ski region. Yeah.
Very good. So definitely take a look at aosta-valley.co.uk where you can find out everything you need to know about visiting Aosta.
Right, Dom, it's time for our desert island ski resort where we caught up with the one and only Aimee Fuller, Olympic snowboarder, of course, and a BBC broadcaster.
And she is here to answer the question of how to become an athlete, how to become a professional snowboarder, and who better to ask than someone like Aimee Fuller. Let's have a listen now. So, Rob, it's time to welcome our very special guest today.
And now I notice, Dom, new star of In the Snow magazine too. How about that?
Yeah, no, she's taking our readers through her fitness tips in the magazine, which is fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. So grew up in England and then moved out to the US at the age of 12, then came back and lived in Northern Ireland from the age of 16, competed in slope-style snowboarding, of course, at the 2014 Winter Olympic Games in Sochi, and she finished 5th place overall during the 2017 season in slopestyle and 3rd overall in the Big Air series as well.
It's incredible. Snowboarding legend, British team athlete, Olympian, BBC sports pundit. Yep, it's time to welcome to the Whiteout podcast stage, Aimee Fuller. How are you?
Hello, gents. What an honour it is to join you on this dark, grey day it is. And also, you said I was an Olympian. You know what? I'm just going to throw something in the mix, you know? 2-time Olympian.
No.
Yeah.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah.
Does that mean you put Ollie and Ollie after your name twice?
Yeah, it's like Aimee, Ollie, Fuller, Ollie. No, I've never used it. I do proudly wear an Olympic ring.
Very
Nice.
cool.
Which I very rarely take off. It lives on my finger.
Just doubled your Olympic capacity, which I like you even more now. That's brilliant.
Well, you know what? I've kind of done 3 Olympics in a way because I went to 2014, I went to 2018, and then I presented 2022. That was an incredible honour as well.
Amazing.
So I don't think I can claim 3-time Olympian, but 2-time plus broadcast Olympian, if that's such a thing. I don't know.
Well, I would definitely be doing that if it was me. So, Aimee, just to take you back, how did you start snowboarding? Where did it all begin?
So it began on Bromley Dry Ski Slope at the age of 4.
Okay.
So to many people's belief, I used to be a skier and I used to go from the top of the slope and try and get as far up the green matting that wasn't part of the slope to hit the wooden cafe with my brother because we were kind of bored of the slope. We'd outgrown it. And there was one day that I saw a snowboarder and he went from the top to the bottom but aired the ski moguls.
Okay.
And just seeing him get airborne, I was like, yes, that's what I want to do.
Wow.
And at the time, I was pretty young, and I asked, hi, can I sort of try this snowboarding thing? And they were like, we don't have boards small enough. So it was when I was 12 years old, I moved to the States, and the local hill was in Pennsylvania. And I went with a couple of friends from school, and I just instantly fell in love with it. I think it being a sport where no rules apply,
Yeah.
I've always been one of those that, and still to this day, I don't like to be confined. And I just saw it as a blank canvas for creativity, and I just fell in love with it.
Wow, that's a great story. So do you remember, was there a turning point between sort of, I'm having fun and this is great and I'm enjoying it with my mates, to, shit, man, I'm so much better than everyone else?
Well, I think I've always done a lot of sport, from basketball to doing motocross, competing at sort of quite a high level in motocross, did the British champs. I got second in that when I was 8. Reading lines and transitions in motocross definitely helped. That combined with gymnastics. So I sort of quite quickly picked it up and I just loved it. It's all I thought about. I just thought and I knew I loved it. And I think that's the core basis of succeeding in anything. You've got to love it. You've got to eat, sleep and breathe it.
And at what point did you then go from that to, okay, this is getting serious, I'm becoming an athlete?
So there's sort of 2 kind of key moments that stand out to me. One of them is, as you say, everybody kind of going, oh, you're pretty good at this. It was when I started like jumping. 1 week you jump half a meter, 2 weeks later you're jumping a meter. A year later you're jumping 8 meters.
Wow.
And without even realizing, that kind of just creeps up on you and there's a gradual progression there. So when I was 16, I begged my mum for half a year if I could go to a summer camp for my 16th birthday. And off I trotted to Mount Hood in Oregon thinking, I'm never going to be able to snowboard again. We're moving back to the UK. And while I was there, I had no idea, but I had been recognized by my coach, who would kind of be similar to me now. She was a professional athlete. She was sponsored by Roxy. She'd been competing international. And in my eyes, she was just living the dream that I would have loved. I left the camp and I went and bought the same necklace as her, the same clothes as her, like full imitation. I know. At the same time as moving back to the UK, conversations were being had behind my back. So that was in the July. In the September, I started school in Northern Ireland. First week at school, I get home on like the 3rd day and my mum's like, Aimee, there's someone on the phone. So it's like, hi, Aimee, it's Stina Brunkeldas. I'm the Roxy European team manager.
No way.
Erin Comstock from the States has recommended you and we'd love to invite you out to Switzerland in 2 weeks' time.
No way.
And it was at that moment my life changed forever.
Wow. That's a story.
And on that trip, I met Leslie McKenna, who I'm sure both of you gentlemen know. And Leslie essentially on that camp installed the belief that if we, because there were 16 of us, future team riders, installed the fundamentals of being an athlete and put everything in place, that it was a possibility. And that gave me the belief to follow my dreams, and I've never looked back since.
So, Aimee, I mean, obviously you got out to Switzerland for that camp, and there is a pathway to success, if you like. And you said there were 16 other young people there, snowboarders, right?
Yeah.
I guess the question I've got is, like, for anyone starting off right now, for anyone at that sort of age, how do they get to that telephone call?
It's an interesting one, because even if you look at the 16, out of all of us that actually made it to the Olympics, I think it would be 3 of us.
Okay.
I think the key and the core value of success and following that pathway is loving the sport and giving everything to it. The reason I got noticed is because of my passion and my drive, which was evident in my riding style. The scene is incredibly small, especially in the UK. If you're turning up to a snow dome and you're doing, incredible 360s on a 1 meter jump, it doesn't matter how big or small it is. The core value of discipline, enjoyment, all of those things, there will be someone in that snow dome over the period of you turning up every single week that will know someone that will be able to put you forward or recommend you. It's a small scene. Also, now we have the internet, right?
Yeah.
You post a clip, boom,
Yeah.
it goes. People see it. You know, go, keep going, keep trying, and don't give up.
So, you know, like 3 of you out that 16, let's say, managed to get to the Olympics then. What was that's got to be more than, is that just drive and loving it? Is there something else? You know, is there a bit of a secret kind of dust,
I don't think,
sprinkled dust there?
And the secret is hard work. And you have to put yourself out there in every sense. Yeah. And if you don't apply yourself fully, you won't necessarily achieve it. And I learned a hard and fast lesson 4 months before the Olympic Games. And I'd put myself in the worst possible position. I was 72nd in the world rankings. And to qualify for Team GB, you need to be in the top 24. So I needed a top 12 and a top 5. So the first competition in Colorado, and I scraped through and got 11th. And then it was Christmas. I didn't come home. I stayed out there. I needed that top 5 or better in Quebec in Canada. Now, that was the event that the year before I walked away from. I was petrified. I was scared of hurting my shoulder again. The jumps were huge. It was icy. It was windy. It was minus 30. And I applied myself over that 4-month period in a way that I'd never applied myself to anything before. And in short, I did get 5th place. And I will never, ever, ever forget ringing my mum going, I've done it, like in tears. And I'm like, I've done it.
I mean, I was hoping you were going to say something like you had Weetabix for breakfast that day and it all came right. But obviously there is a bit more to it than that. But I bet you must have some really kind of funny stories as well. You're touring over the years.
My lucky knickers were obviously always worn.
Of course.
And that's, you know, if that's the story that you want, that's why I qualified on that day
Yes.
in minus 30 because I had hot pink pants on.
Right, it works for me every time.
Have you got hot pink pants?
You know,
Only
I'm just saying,
podcast.
I do think the lucky socks and the lucky underwear is very important. There's something about it. Let's just say that.
But also, I had like a funny little ritual where I'd always sleep in my competition bib, and then whoever I was sharing with, I'd be like, "Sorry, do you just mind if I open the window?" And before I went to sleep, I'd go over to the window, close my eyes, inhale, breathe through it, and I'd do my run in my head twice.
Okay.
And then I'd sleep in the contest bib. That was just me, like, setting my presence for domination. You've got to be focused. But saying that, I was dancing to, like, Miley Cyrus at the top of the course with Tora Bright before I dropped in. Because it is so dangerous, you've got to find the light-hearted element in it as well.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of elite athletes say a similar thing, right? Which is basically, you know, there's been so much preparation going into this moment. You need something to just take your mind away from that because you need your body to take over, right? You need your subconscious to take over at that moment.
Yeah, for sure.
So fast forward, post-Olympics, you can hear the passion in your voice. Like Rob said, it's almost like you've transported yourself back to those moments of being selected. You must miss competing, do you?
Not at all.
Don't you?
Not at all. No. Couldn't think of anything worse.
Brilliant.
I'm sorry if that's not what you want to hear.
No, I mean, that's great.
No, I mean, the last couple of years were horrendous, and I've written about it in my book, Fear Less, Live More, because I was essentially totally consumed by fear in the last year of my snowboarding career. So if you were to tell me you can drop in now and compete at the Olympics, I'd say, good luck to you, mate. Give me the microphone. It's much safer here. What I can tell you is this past year, I went to Morzine with my crew, my friends from home. And I can honestly say I fell in love with snowboarding again. It made me so happy. I was like, wow, this is how I felt when I started it.
I love this because you finally, after all these years, went on a snowboarding holiday. You've discovered actually this is not such a bad thing after all. So what about this season, snowboarding, or in the future? What are you planning, Aimee?
Well, I think In terms of like snowboarding, I'd love to get out on a couple of just like pure passion trips. I'd love to get out with the crew again because we just had the best time ever.
Okay.
So that's like that's personal. On like a sort of world domination vibe, I would love to work on the X Games.
Okay.
That's definitely like a bucket list thing. It's where I got my world first at X Games Teens. So that would be a really nice like full circle moment. And then in terms of kind of everything else, of course, looking ahead to 2026 and working on the broadcast there, and sharing my passion for the sport, but to the masses.
You've reached the dizzy heights of your ski fit column in the snow. I mean, that must be the pinnacle of your success, surely.
I mean, definitely like wellness is a huge part of who I am, and I learned so much about that through my snowboarding career, how to keep fit on the road and the power in simply a yoga mat. I mean, it unlocks the key to being able to move well and feeling good each day. So I'm really proud to have that column and to be able to share my passion. And I think more so now than ever, wellness is so important, as well as looking after our mental health and
podcasts as well, Aimee. I mean, you have your own podcast as well.
Yeah, I've got the Monday Mile. We've been going it'll be 4 years in March. We've done over 100 episodes, and it's based on mindset, motivation, and resilience.
Fantastic hearing about that whole process and what you've done. You've clearly captured the nation, really, and the hearts of that nation, because clearly everybody seems to love you on anything you present. You bring a completely fresh dynamic into sport and presenting and everything. So it's we feel very privileged to have you on today. Hopefully we'll have you on again in future episodes and to have you in the magazine. It's a fantastic story, and hearing that immense passion, that drive and enthusiasm. And you're absolutely right that to do anything, to be great at anything, whatever it is, even magazine production or PR, Rob, you do have to absolutely love it, and you've just got to smash it. You cannot just dither at it. You can't do it at 50 or 70% or even at 90%. Everything's got to be done at 100%. And I think that absolute message, whilst looking after yourself mentally and physically, it sums this up brilliantly.
Yeah, it's so important.
Well, we have one more thing to ask you, Aimee, because this is actually called Desert Island Ski Resort, and the reason we call it that is because we like to ask our guests one final question, and that is, if you could only snowboard in one resort for the rest of your life, where would that be?
Oh, guys, that's cruel.
Yes. It's harsh, isn't it?
Oh. You know what? I do love Lax in Switzerland, but I don't know it so well. But I went once to Sierra Tahoe.
Oh, yeah.
And I tell you what, there was something that was special about the air there. It was so calm and serene. So, yeah, that's a little wayward. I don't think I've ever said that before, but...
No, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah. Maybe we'll let you have a European one and a USA one.
Brilliant. Boom.
There you go. That's very generous of you, Dom.
I know. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we very much look forward to having you on the Whiteout podcast again in future, and certainly carry on enjoying your fabulous career presenting, but also enjoying the ski holidays that you've suddenly found are really actually quite good fun.
Yeah, they're the best. Thanks, guys, for having me. Really appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Aimee.
Such a lot of fun that. She is an absolute scream, isn't she? And interesting. Desert Island Ski Resort. So she said Lax.
Oh, yeah. Sierra Tahoe.
She really went for it there, didn't she?
Lax and Sierra Tahoe, two places I would rather like to go to, but I never have. So, yeah,
wow.
Sounds good. No, it was great catching up with Aimee, and she's always good fun, and she's got so much energy and passion for what she does. I just want to mention just quickly, reminding us that Avoriaz is opening on the 13th of December, that weekend. So it's a little bit later than some of the resorts we've mentioned that are coming up right now. But Avoriaz is opening that weekend, famous for its fully douce at après-ski as well, and ski weekends have a number of chalets in the village of Avoriaz. So they've got actual chalets, not like apartments, because obviously it's famous for apartments as well.
Yes, absolutely.
And
very
got
good.
Enough snow to open now, actually, but anyway.
Yeah. So, Rob, that's all for this week. What a great week we've had. You're off to Austria. I'm off to my office. And we'll be speaking again next week. Don't forget to listen out for our special episode next week. Anything else exciting on your agenda, Rob?
Well, it's packed out. Kendall Mountain Festival this weekend. Then I'm straight off to Innsbruck on Wednesday morning. I'm skiing in Stubai on Thursday. I'm in Val Thorens for the following weekend. I'm then over into Tignes for the week to ski with the Ski Club of Great Britain and check out what's happening with their reps course, because their reps course runs for 10 days in December, training all the new reps. Then I'm back to Val Thorens again for another weekend, back-to-back weekends in Val Thorens. And then I'll finally come home to wash my clothes before turning around before Christmas and going to Crans-Montana in Switzerland.
Wow. That's impressive, Rob. I'm impressed.
You are.
Well, whatever you do, make sure you do it safely. And listeners, don't forget to leave us a review for the podcast, very easily on Spotify or Apple, to leave a quick review and a quick 5 stars to say you're loving the podcast. Share it with your pals, and do send us any questions you might have. Until then, Rob, have safe journeys. Adios.
Walkie walkie. Pretty sure it's called a walkie talkie, mate.